Hey, what's up today? So yeah, I think what we're going to do today is I think I'm going to do like a, not the whole collection, but I'm going to do like a walkthrough kind of explanation of the galaxy here. So maybe we'll start down here at the end maybe. So right here, this is that Republic base that I've rebuilt. I 3D printed a bunch of these. They're supposed to be for the Jedi Temple. They're windows. They're actually technically upside down. But I decided I would put them that way. I've built up the roof here. Got the satellite stuff. But I've got Luke and Mara Jade in there talking to the Republic Council. They represent the Jedi, like the new Jedi Order in my lore. And then down here, I've obviously got the barracks for all the soldiers. Kind of a sort of comm room, sort of like tactical area. Then I've got my garage down here. There, everybody's kind of working away at stuff. That's like the maintenance crew. Got all my pilots kind of having little meetings and stuff. These two are like greeting each other after coming back from a mission, the A-Wing pilots. But they're all kind of hanging out. I like to add like little like stories and stuff, and people can kind of figure out what's going on. Like this guy's briefing all the clone troopers, getting them ready to go out. These guys are all loading up on the gunship, heading out for a mission. And this is kind of like the elite forces here. Like those are like the commandos, so they've got kind of this like gunship that's not really meant for space travel. It's like surface only. So if there's any kind of crisis in the city, they can like bomb in there real quick and drop in. Then I've got all these guys are getting ready to go on like a snow mission to some kind of hostile cold environment. Then the warehouse is down here. That's obviously one of those Leonard aliens mech suit things I repainted. And I do have a couple more in a box. I just haven't gotten to it. And then up here we have the huge Naboo ship. Mon Mothma's getting off, and she's kind of meeting like a detachment of soldiers here, getting briefed on a situation. She's going to go join the council meeting over there. A few ships up top. That's kind of like the hospital. I haven't really done too much to it. I got a couple like gurneys in there. We got a guy being brought in. He was injured on a mission. There's the White Witch. I love that thing. That's one of my favorite things I've 3D printed for sure, is the White Witch. That thing's just killer. Such a cool ship, or speeder I should say. So over here we start getting into more like the docking bays. Like this would be the main one. I've got the big Legacy Falcon is docked there. Han and Chewie are figuring out the plan with Dash Rendar. He's modified his Outrider since Shadows of the Empire, obviously. And then down here, there's like just a random docking bay. Dr. Afra's kind of got a shady deal going with these. Those are former stormtroopers that are now mercenaries. Got them over here, kind of figuring out what's in the box. It's like credits or I don't know, gold or something valuable. Then we got Vizago out here. He's working up some shady deals. He's got some cargo ready to go. Then over here I've got my, that's Darth Revan. They just announced the TBC version, so I'll be replacing him. But that's just a quick custom Darth Revan I made out of a Kylo Ren figure. It looks alright. It actually fills in pretty good. I got HK-47, T3 coming across the bridge. Those are still Revan's droids. And then here I've got another ship, which is kind of a 3D printer mashup of a Y-Wing and an Old Republic freighter. But that's Starkiller's new ship. I'm just using that 3PO as a stand-in until I get like an actual proxy. But he kind of looks like him from behind. And I'll do that too. Like on some of the figures, I'd like display them so you can't see their faces. So they work as like filler characters. Down here we've got Shaak Ti. She's going to go against Count Dooku. There's a Savage. And in my lore, I've got Savage Opress was actually cloned like quite a few times. So you'll see him in various places throughout the world. Down here, I've kind of got like a, normally that's playing like a movie. It's just a little flat screen and stuff. But normally it's playing a movie, but the Blu-ray player I had hooked up kind of went for a crap, so I'll have to find something else. And these are just like some of my favorites, like the Power of Grayskull, Electric State, that action figure adventure. I was actually in season 1 of that. So these are just kind of some of my favorite, like kind of IPs or like documentaries that people have done. Got my board there to show everybody, and that's from Starboy. I'm actually got this kind of Kashyyyk memorial statue here. I kind of want to do like a garden down here with like a bunch of statues, kind of like a little memorial garden. And then moving down here, this is always like, this setup's always kind of in limbo. Like I'm not sure where to put my Tatooine setup because I don't really have like a representation of Tatooine on like any of my setups. So this one kind of sits here on its own. I just picked up that new TVC Tusken Raider. Looking forward to the other ones for sure. But you go up through here, and this is like a refueling station. Of course, we've got Zilla Gamma Fuel here. And then just some shout outs to other channels. I got my Toy Domination sign there. And then over here is like where people board the shuttle to go to different planets or like different parts of the station. There's 2 different ones. There's an off-planet shuttle, which is the big one there. And then there's like just a one that bops around the planet like a taxi. But I've got a whole bunch of shout outs to different stations up there. I've got to redo that sign. It's just done with like a label maker and stuff, so it's kind of cheap looking. Got my Vault Tech sign. And then we've got Cad Bane kind of doing a deal down here. And we've got the other dude up there kind of watching his back while it all goes down. But this whole section here is like just like a commerce sort of cargo area. Like I've got this cargo pad down here. He's loading up that truck. He's kind of supervising. This is all his cargo. He just landed. He wants to get that to sell that off to the vendors as soon as possible. Over there we've got Dax's Diner. And it's kind of part of like the Barbados. So that started an Amrak spot, Barbados. I've got signage for the beer. So this is another franchise that's opened in Andara City. Everybody's having a good time. We got Jack Sparrow way back there by the bar. Sully from Avatar. Got Captain Power. Indiana Jones is way back there. There's a couple Bionic 6 guys there. Yeah, so that's my main bar anyway. I've got the band playing. I'm going to kind of change that up. I might give Max Rebo like an actual set of drums or something. And then down here is just kind of where all the shady business happens. You've got Jabba the Hutt and his crew. Just all sorts of people just kind of meeting and doing shady business. Kind of, yeah, I guess that would be where all the sort of contraband and stuff gets traded. It's not policed very well. We've got this guy kind of giving him a hard time. And then we've got this guy here. He sells chems and stuff. And then back in here, this is where we start getting into some of the street vendors. Like we've got that guy. He's got a table set up. I've got my vegetable dude or fruit. He's just kind of selling stuff there. This guy too, I got to work on some bottles, but he's going to be like a liquor salesman on the street. This is a pawn shop here. I'm going to hang a bunch of stuff on the wall, probably like guitars and things like that, like a normal pawn shop. And then down here, this is my toy store. So I've got a whole bunch of mini brands. I've still got a whole bunch to put in there, but I haven't quite figured out what I'm doing. But then, yeah, just the streets are just kind of bustling with activity. There's like a droid shop back in here, so it's pretty busy. And then there's like a hunting lodge. This is where you get all your cages and stuff if you want to go hunting. And then move along. These are this is one of those LOL container houses, and I've found quite a few. So the idea is I want to build them all up and turn them into kind of like a housing complex or whatever. So I've got these dudes sort of hanging out up here, and then I've got the recording studio down below. So I printed the drums and the little amps and stuff like that. This is the band. I'm not sure what I'm going to call them. Got a couple more members to add, but I've got to find a couple more of those stripy bodies. Got a Saj up here. But the big thing I'm adding now, like I'm adding like all sorts of like crazy signs. Like that's a Prost thing from Fallout 4. I've also got like a Nuka-Cola thing going on here. So I'm just going to keep adding signs. I want to kind of like congest it, like so it looks like a real city. And then one of the other things I just whipped up, I did a variation on Mining Guild tie. That's the Imagine X Kylo Ren tie with just some vintage tie wings. And I've got like, I want to make like a little fleet of those with different bodies, like an X-Wing body with those wings. My buddy Cyril gave me like a ton of vintage Star Wars TIE Fighter wings, so I'm using those up. And then down here, you got the Edelheim Merino Sport. Wentzilla sent me that Gladiator. She's taken on all these anthropomorphic animals. So that's where the arena is anyway. And Pirates of the Galaxy is doing like a Champions of the Universe, or yeah, something like, I forget exactly what it's called, but he's sorting all that out. And then moving right along, this is my Endor setup. So kind of the story behind this is like the Ewoks, this is like their main village, right? So I've added this. This is like the chief's hut, and I printed off some Ewoks and some drums there. And he's kind of having a meeting with some Jedi here. A couple guys talking over here. And like I said, I like adding those little stories in. We've got a couple Jedi Wookiees up here. Got their ship. So moving right along into this next part. So the Ewoks have allowed them to build a settlement on Endor. And that's what all this is. I'm going to add a bunch more trees. I kind of wanted to like seem like they kind of emulated the Ewoks way of like building a city, but it's going to be like more technological buildings stuck in with the trees. I've got the beer delivery coming in. And then these are the figures. I haven't moved them down there yet, but Wentzilla sent me those. I love these two figures. Those are the guards for the beer walker there when they do the deliveries. Got a bar down here. The lights burned out. When I do a full tour, I'll get all the lights and stuff set up again. But the problem I'm running into now is I want to do a big tour, but then I get into like changing stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'll wait one more day. Oh, wait 2 more days. Yeah. So it just kind of goes on. I'm going to have to like have like just a cutoff point where I can like be like, okay, I'm going to just do a video. And then over here, this is my Imperial, the new Sith Empire base. All sorts of stuff going on here. Got the Emperor kind of hanging out. I want to kind of alter the throne room and stuff. We got those like Sith guys over there doing some kind of like ceremony. And then up here, lots of troops. But I've got them all like, that's the 501st. So got them all kind of divided into like little squadrons and stuff. The big landing pad up here. And that's that Imperial Scout shuttle. So I downsized the body on purpose. I wanted to be like a little sleeker, more of a scout kind of thing. And then I gotta love the interceptors. And then here's kind of like a control room. They were talking to a hologram of Vader. I've got like, Tarkin. I've got Thrawn in there. All the big baddies. Then coming out here, there's kind of a balcony, guys on gun positions. Got my 2 Legacy AT-AT. I actually finished the other one with 3D prints because it was like bare bones. But again, more troops. Just squads all lined up. I got my biker guys here. They're kind of talking over the mission and stuff. And then here I've got, that's the Black Series, or some people call it the Legacy AT-ST. And that's one I printed. And I kind of like the 3D printed one better. I like the scale better. So I don't know. I might print a couple more of those and just like sell that thing off because it actually goes for a few bucks. And I could put that towards other things. And then up here I've got my TIE launching bay. A couple more Sith hanging out there. Then one of my favorite setups, I got the big Mandalorian setup here. So this is the Mandalorian home world. They're the one they have now. There's Hunter, Mando, I got Ahsoka down there, Maz Kanata, all kind of just meeting up around the Razor Crest. But yeah, tons of custom Mandalorians. Like that's like the Mandalorian council chamber. So they're sorting stuff out in there. Then I've got my squad here with Shea Vizsla. They're getting ready to load up in their massive ship. And that's in one of those six-legged Clone Wars walker, an ATTE. And I put like an Apache helicopter front on it and some wings that I had kicking around. Got these guys over here. And then I've got my, maybe I'll swing around to this side. So I got my avatar. That's Nadon Rin with his dog. He's got a T3 unit. Big droid for backup. Talking to, I guess, former Death Watch there. And then the other thing I've added to this is I've actually got the armor has her own, like, kind of shop back in there. I still have quite a bit to add to it. So I got a whole bunch of stuff like back in there. But I can access that from the back if I have to like go in there and like get anything. But just like so many Mandalorians. Done like a ton of custom ones. And then this guy, who fell over. But yeah, then I've got Boba Fett over here. And that's supposed to be Omega in her Mandalorian armor. That's kind of part of my lore where she actually does like link up with her brother, I guess, technically. And then they go in around the galaxy. Boba Fett doesn't really settle down. He still kind of carries on with his bounty hunting activities. Then over here, I've got my Jedi Temple. So that's the landing pad. I'm pretty much like happy with the way this turned out. I got to put a statue on top of that fountain. And then out to the side here, like I've got like my Jedi training room. I've still got to fill in some of the gaps there. Like I don't want the wood grain thing. And then the other thing here is like kind of their sleeping quarters. And I printed out another one of those sleeping pods. I love those things. They're like so sci-fi. And then we've got like their sort of meeting area, tactical area. All the computers. We've got a bit of a ceremony or initiation going on up there. One of those teaching a class. But the biggest thing I've kind of added, I guess I saved it till the last. So I wanted to add like another faction to my galaxy. And what I've done here is obviously this is like the Brotherhood of Steel. So I made a bunch of power armor suits. And I made those out of these, you got these Gundam suits from the dollar store. So I used those. I 3D printed some T45 and T51 helmets. I'll probably do like some XO1s and stuff like that. I've got this Liberty Prime that I printed out. Got the Warthog back there. I kind of thought that was a cool Brotherhood of Steel vehicle. I might paint it up and put the emblem on it. I got my power armor workstations here. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way these power armor suits turned out. They're maybe a little small. But I guess it's the future and they're in Star Wars land, so maybe it's more like armor than like a ride-around suit like in the game. And then that Lost in Space robot, I thought that looked like a Robo-Brain, so I threw that back in there. Still got to populate it with some characters. I made a bunch of these 3D printed laser rifles for them. And then I'm going to have them, they're going to use mech suits too. That's that G.I. Joe one. Probably one of the only coolest things from the newer line from G.I. Joe, I think, anyway. And then back here, I've got the robot workbench, the Tinker's workbench. Got kind of a little factory machine there with a conveyor belt. I'll cover that with parts. But that's all the stuff I've kind of been working on. I'm still 3D printing. But maybe I'll show you what I'm up to over on that end of things, too. So at the work table, I got like a ton of stuff on the go. Like I'm still printing these off. I got to get those sent to Wedzilla. I will this week. I've just been trying to print them, and it's hard to like get the volume you want. Sometimes you just gotta wait for stuff and you want to print other things. But this is a Sentinel class Imperial shuttle, so that's like the body. There's still like another body part that's like that size to go on there. Like this thing's gonna be insanely huge when it's done. It's probably, I would say it might actually dwarf the Legacy Falcon. Like it's gonna be huge. I've got the wings printing over there. There's still like probably 5 hours left on those. So yeah, that's pretty much obviously printing off more boxes, because I always print off more boxes. But that's the other, you know, that's the fun thing about printing. And then I got this thing. It's like an old Fisher Price shuttle. I'm gonna make into like a, I don't know, maybe like a bus or something like that. We'll have to figure it out. But yeah, I'm really excited for the Sentinel class shuttle. And if you don't know what one looks like, I'll throw up a picture right now of what one looks like. But I think for now, that's going to be it. Like, that's pretty much all my major updates that I've got on the go. 3D printing, obviously, a ton of stuff. Just working on all these, like, galaxies and worlds. Starting to get a little congested down here. Like, this isn't a tiny basement, but the only thing I can do is like kind of jut out from the setup, so it makes it a little difficult when you're trying to get figures from the back. But I'm a lot happier with my setup these days than I have been. But getting a lot of inspiration from the community. I love hosting the shows with Wentzilla and Famine Studios on Friday nights. We got a roundtable coming up this Friday, so I'll post that, but I'll likely do another video before then on the whole setup. But as you can see, it's a pretty like insanely massive setup. So there's always something to work on. So for now, that's it. And yeah, take her easy, and I will catch you later.